I am on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. And this is an exclusive Patreon only membership videos where you will get some interesting takes on Vedic astrology, some interesting learning on Vedic astrology, which I can usually will not upload on general YouTube platform. So that will help me grow as a channel, and that will help me take care of the cost of production of this YouTube channel and the other two channels that I have, Punneit Astrology Hindi and Lifetime Soul. Connect with me on Patreon and we will grow, and I will give you much more deep insights on Vedic astrology, and lot more secrets will be shared there. Hello seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. There is a lunar eclipse happening on 19th of November this year, and this lunar eclipse is said to be the longest eclipse of the century. The eclipse is going to be partial, and this eclipse is not going to be visible, at least in India, but it will be visible in North and South America, parts of China and Australia. So definitely this eclipse, where it is visible, will definitely have what we call as Sutak. That means precautions as per the scriptures. But in India there is no Sutak, so there is no dharmic or spiritual precaution. But yes, this eclipse, in spite of being a partial eclipse, do have an astrological significance just because of the placement of moon with Rahu and the presence of sun in the sign of Scorpio. In this kind of eclipse, moon goes very close to Rahu, although it's a partial, still moon goes very close to Rahu and sun goes very close to Ketu. This eclipse will happen in the Kritika nakshatra, the nakshatra controlled by sun itself. Therefore, it has some strong significance. The sun will directly influence moon, and Jupiter will also have a strong aspect on this moon from the sign of Capricorn, although the eclipse will happen around 2.5 degrees, whereas Jupiter is around 29 degrees. So this aspect of Jupiter might not be that strong because of the angle of aspect, but still, because there is an aspect is on the entire zodiac, we can still say that Jupiter's influence will be there to a certain extent. On the other hand, if you observe, Mars is in the sign of Libra, and Mars being in the sign of Libra at 19 degrees on that day will aspect Moon and Rahu with the 8th aspect. Now that is something very crucial, something very important. Mercury will be with Mars, and Venus will be steady in its own nakshatra of Purvashada in the sign of Sagittarius, 8th from Moon. Now remember, this Venus is 8th from Moon, and Venus is the ruler of Taurus zodiac sign where this eclipse will happen. This is the most crucial information about this eclipse. This eclipse will start from 11:34 AM IST, Indian Standard Time, on 19th of November. So for the North America and South America, it will be in the night of 18th of November, and it will end at 5:33 PM. The first contact of penumbra will be 11:34 AM. The first contact of umbra will be at 12:50 PM. That means wherever the eclipse will be in the umbral region. Maximum of lunar eclipse will be in 2:33 PM. Last contact with the umbra, that means Purna Grahan, the complete lunar eclipse, will end at 4:17, but the penumbral, that means what you say as end of eclipse duration, is at 5:33 PM. So total duration of the entire phase, penumbra to penumbra, will be approximately 6 hours long. That's why this is a very, very strong lunar eclipse. Also, I can see that Sun and Ketu are 5 degrees in difference, and whereas Rahu and Ketu are 6 degrees in difference around 11:34 AM. Also, Jupiter will be at 29 degree 50 minutes, just 10 minutes shy of reaching the sign of Aquarius, because obviously couple of days later Jupiter will move to Aquarius. Now this is also a strong significance here, because when Jupiter will enter the sign of Aquarius, Moon will be in the same sign, Taurus zodiac. So Moon is not free from the influence of Rahu. Moon will be in Mrigashira nakshatra. So this eclipse is also very crucial for the Jupiterian movement. And remember, Jupiter while it's moving out, has given its influence on the eclipse. So this is going to create immense positive results and lot of changes in our life. Let's understand zodiac by zodiac what this eclipse will bring for us, how will this eclipse feel. This video, this specific video of eclipse, because eclipse is on moon, this video is not as per ascendant. Rather, this video is as per your moon sign. How to find out the moon sign? In your horoscope, in whichever zodiac moon is in your chart, that's your moon sign. So if in your horoscope, moon is in number 2 zodiac sign, that means it's in Taurus, your moon sign will be Taurus. Similarly, if your moon is in Libra, your moon sign will be Libra. So watch this video as per the moon sign, and because moon is getting mostly impacted, it's the mind that will get mostly impacted. Let's figure out what's in store for us. For Aries moon sign, moon will be in the second house, so eclipse will be in the second house. So you need to be careful about how you eat, how you maintain your diet. You have to be very careful about what you speak on this day. Try to be not negative in your speech. Try to have a harmonious environment in the family. This is not a good time to invest in property, real estate. Rather, this is a good time to focus on the health of mother and try to resolve issues, if you have any, with your mother or grandmother. This is also the time where you can think of transforming your home, changing the furniture, maybe doing some renovation work. This eclipse will make you slightly uncomfortable, and you will be feeling to speak about the uncomfort that you are in. It's okay to speak, but let Jupiter move out to the sign of Aquarius. Give it a couple of days, think about, and then you speak. Try not to eat non-vegetarian food, and try to chant the name of Krishna in this time, and you will see that the energies of the eclipse will be positive. Because second house is getting impacted in Kritika Nakshatra, you need to watch out for resources, especially fire hazards in your home and in your office. Be very careful about water-related incidents also, like your electronics or your gadgets getting damaged because of water, therefore incurring heavy losses. Overall, this eclipse is going to be slightly concerning towards family members. So spend your time more with the family and try to watch out for their health. And overall, if you speak positive, if you're speaking good things about everybody, you will also feel good. And by being in bhakti and by being in the bhakti of Lord Krishna, you will see that you are in the right state of mind. But any out-of-the-box thinking should be corrected and should be applied logically, and finding the consequences of your actions will be a great, you can say, action in this time. Taurus moon sign. If you are a Taurus moon sign, that means eclipse is going to be on your moon sign. So definitely you are going to be affected emotionally and mentally. With this kind of eclipse, you need to be very careful with the kind of emotional response you give to the situations in your life. Moon is mind, therefore mind is also reality. Health and wealth, these are the two areas that can get impacted in this time frame, and because of which you can be scared, you can get a negative feedback of your actions, which can make you more skeptical towards your own actions. Doubting yourself will be one of the key reasons that you will try to penetrate deep inside you, thinking or going for a fault finding. But don't do that. Try to have more confidence and let a week pass after the eclipse, and you will feel much more better. And in case you are not feeling better, pray to Ma Mahasaraswati, and try to also pray to Devi Shakti, Devi Durga. This will give you more strength to fight all the odds of life, and especially the health. And people who already have Moon and Rahu in their horoscope, Moon and Ketu in their horoscope, people who are in Moon Mahadasha, Rahu Mahadasha, or their Antardashas will get impacted the most in this time frame, especially the Taurus ascendant or Taurus moon sign people. So what you have to do, you must be meditating, you must be releasing all the toxicity, all the toxins, all the negativity, and try to do a fast on the day of eclipse. The day of eclipse should be the day where you are praying to the goddess, and so that the energies which are positive rises inside you and you don't feel negative about. One more thing, that the day of eclipse can be a bit scary. You can think a lot negative because of the Venus being 8th from the eclipse. So you need to watch out for any unnecessary negative thoughts, especially in relationships and marriage. This is not the right day to communicate your emotions unchecked and unfiltered. Aware of what you are speaking, when you're aware of your mental and emotional health, things will be fine. Gemini moon sign. Now for Gemini moon sign, you will see that eclipse will happen in the 12th house, whereas Venus will be in the 7th house. This means some private matters in your life can come in front and come into the public, and that can humiliate. You need to be very, very careful about any such issues, especially in marriage and marriage kind of relationships, where it can create defamation. Overall, this is only going to be an eclipse that creates more worry than real incidents of life. What you should do is you should avoid late night travels, especially on the day of eclipse. You should avoid sleeping late in the night, and also you should avoid lack of sleep, drinking alcohol, and doing things or taking things that keeps you awake for too long, because it can affect your brain and central nervous system. Try to avoid coffee, tea, and such kind of beverages in this time frame. The day of eclipse is also going to be the day when moon will find 6 planets in the 6th house, 8th house, and 12th house. So for your moon, this might seem to be a very difficult time. That means some worry or some thought can come in your mind that can put you into a situation as if you're in a war. Just slow down. After a couple of days, there will be a very strong impact of Jupiter on your moon sign, because Jupiter from Aquarius will aspect the Gemini sign. So just wait for a couple of weeks and you will feel much better, and the energy of eclipse will recede. What you should do? You should meditate a lot, treat your subconscious brain with positive frequencies and positive energy. Have some bhajan or some kind of song, spiritual music played in the background, especially the music of flute. And chanting or listening, especially listening to Madhurashtakam, is going to be a very good remedy to remove any kind of negative forces within you. Second lord is getting the eclipse, so be very careful about the health of family member, because money can be spent unnecessarily on diseases. Also, overspending should be avoided, so try not to buy something costly in this time frame, like from 15th of November to 25th of November. Overall, this is not going to be an eclipse that is going to be very damaging to you, but still it can be scary. So don't get scared, leave everything to God. The more you let go, the more you will feel de-stressed. Cancer zodiac sign, Kark Rashi. Now in case of Kark zodiac, you will see that the moon rules your moon sign, obviously, and the eclipse happens in the 11th house. Now this is a war of expectations. Kritika is going to inflammate your desire. Kritika is going to penetrate your deep desire, your deep hidden secrets, and that is what is going to dominate your thoughts and your head. It can be a statement made by a friend, it can be an event or a circumstantial energy, a circumstantial event that can trigger a response from your end, especially in your network circle. 11th house is also the house of gains, so you will be skeptical about gains and you will be scared about whether you can gain or not, because you will be scared about your own knowledge. You will doubt your own identity, your own thought process, and your words can make or break. So be very careful with what you speak, because second Lord Sun is with Ketu. Devotion and dedication, especially to Lord Shiva, is going to bring a lot of mental peace and harmony in your life. Watch out for your health, especially when you're partying, when you're going out, and when you're going in public. This is also going to be an eclipse that will trigger a chain reaction in your source of income. So be very careful about any malefic events in your office, in your business. Rather just go steady, because Saturn in the 7th house is balancing things, and Venus is also in the 6th house. So if you see, that Venus is 8th from the 11th house, so definitely this eclipse will trigger some change in your source of income. You were expecting that, a change of job, a new line of business, that will happen as a consequence, as a positive consequence of this eclipse, but only if you keep your thoughts and heads clear and don't doubt people unnecessarily. Overall, this eclipse has a positive response on you. Leo moon sign. Your moon sign is controlled by Sun, and your moon, which is your 12th lord, gets eclipsed. This happens in the 4th and 10th axis. Because Sun is in Scorpio with Ketu in the 4th house from moon, Rahu and moon are in the 10th house from moon. This is what is going to create a work-life imbalance in your case. You will see that the forces in your office and the forces at your home will rip your mind in two places. You will be like in two places at one time. You will have to be very careful with what you are choosing at that particular instant when the question of choosing comes in your life. The best way to handle the situation? The best way to handle is by doing your duty. At that moment, forget what you think is right. Do what is actually right. Choose the side which is actually right, and you will see you are in a much better situation. Although it can be a mental conflict, but still you will find an easy way out if you follow and if you stick to kartavya, the duty and the responsibility. The good thing is that this can trigger a change of career. Maybe some incident in your office can push you, make you so much uncomfortable that you will think of quitting the job, maybe quitting the partnership within a business, or maybe completely closing the line of business you are doing and going to something else. Good. This is a good time for people who are trying to sell their stake in their business, trying to sell shares, trying to sell properties, and trying to give up something to maybe clear off some debts or loans that they are in. For Leo zodiac sign, this will be a challenge of ego. So somebody can challenge your ego because this is an inflamed response from the public, which is Kritika Nakshatra in the 10th house. So be very careful with how you counter an argument, how you counter a debate, how you counter a question thrown at you. Allegations can also be a part, a scandal or a controversy can also be a part for your moon sign. Although the duration is very small, the eclipse can have long-lasting psychological impact. So be very careful, lay low, and just keep yourself involved in the bhakti of Krishna, and you will see things are more or less fine. Virgo moon sign. Now for you, the eclipse will happen in the 9th house. This is the question of your dharma. Because this is an eclipse in Kritika Nakshatra, this is going to ignite spiritual power within you. People who are running Rahu Mahadasha, Chandra Mahadasha, Rahu Antardasha, Moon Antardasha, Rahu Moon, Ketu Moon, Saturn Moon, people whose moon is in Rahu Nakshatras, they are definitely going to have a strong response if you are a Virgo moon sign also. Rahu moon in the 9th house also mean that your determination, your dharma, the faith that you follow, your belief system will be challenged. Don't give a emotional response. Rather, play safe. Venus in the 4th house also indicates that it can also bring you discomfort in your family, bring discomfort at your home. The health of a family member can also take a hit. 11th house goes under the eclipse from the 9th house, so definitely this is going to be a challenging time from the career perspective, from the source of income. But this also shows that if you accept a new belief, a new learning, and if you try to expand your horizon, if you try to involve something, create something new in your line of business, you will feel and you will see that the response of your source of income is much higher than expected. Suddenly something good about you will be known to the people, and you will also become popular. Sun and Ketu in the 3rd house also shows that you need to be more quiet and you need to be very calculative and assertive while you are speaking. And when you are speaking, speak with a lot of confidence. Remember, Mars is in Swati Nakshatra in your 2nd house, which is the nakshatra of Rahu. So don't become angry, because your anger response is going to be counterproductive for you. Overall, because of the simple Saturn's presence in the 5th house is going to stabilize most of the negative effects if you go slow, if you go steady and if you follow your dharma. Libra moon sign. For you, the moon sign is controlled by Venus. Venus is in the 3rd house, whereas the eclipse happens in the 8th house. This means unexpected events can create unexpected fear. You can start protecting yourself from fear that will not even exist or might not even come. So being protective and being paranoid, there's a very thin line in between. So your sense of protection or sense of defense can be converted into paranoid behavior. So be very careful. People with OCDs, people with compulsive disorders will face a very difficult time. So you need to be prepared mentally not to involve your mind into such activities. 8th house Rahu moon means transform by hook or by crook. This is a kritika. So definitely a seed of transformation will be installed in your thoughts, it will be implanted in your brain, and you will see that post this eclipse, you will try to transform your personality. You will try to transform the way you look, the way you feel, the way you eat. You will try to transform yourself completely. This is one of the biggest reason being a response coming from a spouse, friend, or a near and dear one. People who are dependent more on the public response, a kind of a business like media industry, will see that those kind of people will have gone a lot of changes after this eclipse, especially in their business, the way they perform, the way they approach their life. So when you are changing, it's good to change, it's good to accept a change, and transformation is the key here. But the thing is, losing your own identity to be somebody else is not the right kind of result you would expect from the eclipse. Transformation is okay, but control how much you should transform. A simple, nicely put transformation will put you into a right amount of, in the right spot where you can make things better for yourself. But anything in excess, things that you do out of fear, you will regret later on. Scorpio moon sign. Now, the eclipse is going to be very difficult for Scorpio moon sign in a way that your moon is already debilitated. You have Ketu transiting on your moon. Then you have Sun and Ketu conjunction on the moon. And then the moon, which is exalted in Taurus, which should have given you positive results, is now under the eclipse of Rahu and it is in Kritika Nakshatra. So this means this is going to be very difficult for people who are married, and especially for people who are married to the spouse who has Rahu moon or Ketu moon conjunction in their chart. So you need to be careful in that angle. The first lord Mars for you, the moon sign lord Mars, is in the 12th house. This means that more than the fact, your emotions will trigger out of assumptions and fictions. So you need to be very careful what you assume about your partner, about your business partner, about your life partner, and about people around you. Especially if you're an influencer, then you need to be very careful in the way you respond. You try to put forward your image. That is going to get impacted tremendously if you don't take care. Because 7th lord is also Venus and it is in the 2nd house, in-laws and your spouse can go under conflict. So you need to be the mediator here. You need to watch out the energy exchange between these two parties. Overall, this is going to be an eclipse where you are going to think more about what will people think rather than what you really can. So focus on your true potential rather than correcting things that don't need to be corrected in the first place. Unnecessary efforts will only go waste. Sagittarius moon sign. For Sagittarius moon sign, the eclipse will happen in the 6th house. This kind of eclipse will trigger a kind of response where you will feel that everybody is your enemy. An enemy is about to get you. You are a victim, and this sense of victimhood can be dangerous for you. Because Sun and Ketu is in the 12th house, you may end up losing things rather than gaining just because you think that the situation or circumstance can be negative. This kind of response can be a trigger, a fear that a soldier in a war might have, that the bullet can come from anywhere and he's caught in between. But the fact is that maybe he is the only soldier and there is no bullet. So before assuming a threat, before assuming a challenge, before assuming a competition, first see and realize if the competition challenge exists in the first place or it's a creation of your mind. Here you will need the help of a learned person, because only a person watching from outside can understand what the things are, how the things are, and where are the things going to lead. If you take the help, it is going to be very good for you, because that will be stopping you from taking unnecessary decisions, unnecessary course of actions. Overall, this is going to be a challenging transit, a challenging eclipse for you. Watch out for your health, watch out for unnecessary enemies, and watch out for any unnecessary assumption of enemies also. So it's not like there won't be any enemy, but you need to figure out whether you are overreacting or whether you are underreacting. You just need to balance things out, and Bhagavad Gita can play a very vital role in stabilizing your thoughts and therefore making you understand what's right and wrong. Don't take any loan in the month of November if possible, and try to clear all the prarabdha. And if you have the eclipse in your own chart, then this is the time when you should do some remedies about the eclipse, about your own horoscope. Capricorn moon sign. Your moon sign is facing Saraswati, Saturn is on your moon, Jupiter is about to leave and go to the second house, and therefore giving you much needed relief. 7th house from the moon sign is ruled by the moon itself, the sign of Cancer, and the eclipse will be in the 5th house. It can create some response towards your children. This is also the past life positive karma, so this can suddenly aggravate the situation in a way that everything is favoring you. That is also bad, because if everything is favoring you and everything goes the way you want, what is the surety that what you want is actually right for you? So don't live in a utopian land. Rather, whatever action you take should be actually dharmic. It should be spiritual, and it should be guided, because any random course of action can create issues. It can also create issues in your office because of the amount of knowledge or information that you claim to have and the amount of work that you are actually giving as an output. So your productivity can be questioned in this time frame. 5th house is also the house of expression. So you have to be very careful with how you express yourself, your emotions especially, because Kritika Nakshatra can flame the fire. Your one sentence can actually make somebody depressed. Your one statement or maybe unnecessary attempt to give judgment about somebody can put someone in problem, and therefore you will be the one who will be losing the friends, losing the people around you, and this can create trouble in the circumstance around you. Don't watch horror movies, don't watch negative movies, don't listen to sad songs. Try to avoid any dark or gloomy circumstance so that you can feel much more happy. But because Rahu moon is in the 5th house, not everything is negative. The biggest positivity is if you can do some mantra siddhi, if you can chant some stotra shlokas in this time frame, especially on the day of lunar eclipse. If you pray to Lord Shiva and chant Mahamrutyunjay mantra, this can also be helpful, clearing lot of curses and negative energies from your horoscope and therefore from your life. Make the best use of this eclipse, because for you, eclipse is being formed in the best house of Kundli, the 5th house. Aquarius moon sign. Kumbh Rashi. For you, the eclipse is being formed in the 4th house. So definitely, moon which rules the 6th house comes in the 4th house. So you need to be very careful about the health of your mother. And you need to be very careful about the health of your own house, own home and the property. So if you have a property that is getting damaged because you have not given enough attention to it, you need to be very careful. You should be very careful about fire in your home. So fire hazards is one of the major concern in this time frame. So this is also not a good time for smokers, because 4th house is also the house of lungs, and Kritika can inflammate lungs issues, especially people with asthma. So be very careful if you have lungs or breathing problem. 4th house, Rahu Moon and the 10th house Sun and Ketu means you will have to focus more on your home and less on your career. That can actually put you into a situation where you will get irritated. This is the time frame when your comfort is going for a toss and things are pinching on exactly what you feel comfortable about. So don't worry, there's just a momentary you can say transit of Moon. Jupiter will come on your first house, will stabilize things very soon. So any emotional trigger should not trigger an emotional reaction. Give a response, but don't react to situation. And to maintain this balance, you need to pray to Lord Shiva, chant Om Namah Shivaya 108 times every day to counterbalance the negative energies of Rahu and Moon. Pisces Moon sign, Meen Rashi. For you, the eclipse is in 3rd house, so you will have lot of worry about your brother. Any fight, any quarrel with the brother should be avoided in the month of November. Moon also rules your 5th house, so you will also worry about the siblings and siblings' children. You will also worry about your cousins. You will also worry about people who you think are your siblings, like your friends who are like your brothers. No quarrel, no fight with them will be productive in this time frame. So try not to assume things about them, not to believe on everything that you hear, because Rahu Moon in the 3rd house can act as false information. Don't believe in any false information, and unless you do the fact finding, don't trust. Rahu Moon in the 3rd house means unnecessary course of action. It can make you violent, so be very, very careful. Sun and Ketu in the 9th house may make you suddenly take a leap of faith, because your belief system on yourself, on God, can simply vanish because you may be trying for long and now things are not happening. So this eclipse can trigger an emotional response, which in turn you will convert to action, because 3rd house is your parakram, your energy, your courage. So your courage will suddenly get challenged and questioned. You would go to prove yourself, and that's the exact mistake that you will do. So don't try to prove in this time frame. Rather, learn why you need to prove in the first place, and how can you prove without aggravating the situation, without accelerating the emotion. Rather, how can you prove by being who you are? Don't change yourself, but just upgrade. So guys, that was the 12 moon sign analysis for all moon sign. You can also watch out for ascendants, but I wanted to focus on moon sign first. So I hope you like this, and if you like, do subscribe the channel so that you and me can stay connected, and like the video and give your views in the comment section below. Also watch out my other channel, Lifetime Soul, for wellness, healing and lifestyle videos there. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, this is your host Punneit. Namaste.